Rise and blessings, everybody. It's your brother Corey Drumz, and this is the first of my segments called Word to Me. And in this segment, I want to continue the conversation started by the whole Kanye West controversy, but I want to delve a little bit deeper into it. Um, First off, I want to start off by saying we have to be in control of our culture. We have to be the ones that make the rules. We the ones that have to make the guidelines, and we're the ones that have to stand up to those guidelines, and we have to take accountability for the things that we do according to our guidelines. Now, with that being said, the culture that we call hip hop started by our forefathers. You know what I mean, in the Bronx or in Queens or Brooklyn, wherever it was, whatever parks it was being done, it was created as a voice, and that voice was against the establishment at the time, and it was a voice that wasn't being heard. And so we took it upon ourselves to say the things that we needed to say. And while a lot of the music early on and a lot of the things that was coming out of it, of the hip hop culture, was party based, it evolved into a social and political based message that was coming in the music. Um, Salute to the big brothers, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and Melly Mel for the message, and all of the artists that made records like that. You know what I mean? Um, what I want to say is this: since the inception of our culture called hip hop, we have been the ones pushed down to the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to who's benefiting from the hip hop. And we've lost control of who makes the rules and who's really in control of our culture and our creativity and what we do. Now, in the 80s, we had Public Enemy come out, and we had groups like X Clan, and we had in the 90s, early 90s, we had groups like Brand Nubian, uh, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest. I mean, we had a lot of artists, and this is just to name a few. But we had a lot of artists that were more conscious, and that music was being uh, 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 was accessible to the fans via radio, marketed and everything, you know. But what happened is that there was a switch, and that switch came with gangster music, okay, namely NWA. And this isn't a slight on NWA. This isn't. I don't want to get a backlash from NWA fans and all of that. And you know what I mean, shout out to the West Coast because yes, NWA is pioneers, and they didn't do anything wrong. But here's what I'm gonna state. When NWA came out with the record "Fuck the Police," that one record. Now at that time we still had Public Enemy and all of those groups that were still out there. But that record "Fuck the Police" came out, and it shined light on police brutality and the way that the police was treating us in the neighborhoods that we come from. Great record. Great record, great message, right? But that record itself does not make NWA the bastions of morality and messaging, because on that same album they had records that was glorifying gang rapes, gang activity, and violence and things of that nature. And what happened was the system took the momentum that NWA had gained from the Fuck the Police record, and they flipped the directive. Now they turned NWA into the new quote unquote Public Enemy, and because of that one song, that and Express Yourself. Okay, that's two songs. Meanwhile, the rest of the albums was about gang shit, like straight up and down gang shit. You know what I'm saying? And Public Enemy had stopped gaining radio play at that time, and NWA had started getting all of all the attention. Um, so at that time, things had flipped. They flipped from messaging coming more up on a positive angle. Yes, there were still negative records. Don't get me wrong; those things are going to be here, but there was more of a balance. And since that time, there's been an imbalance, and the imbalance is the records that have been marketed by this system have been directly violent records, negative messages, um, teaching young girls to twerk and that sexuality, exploiting their sexuality is the way to get ahead. Um, it started glorifying the strip club life. It started glorifying street mentality and thuggism and gangsterism over positive imagery. Now, in my record, Dear Hip Hop, I mentioned that. I said, and this isn't a slight on anybody, but I was asking a question: how these little Johns be selling more than Nas? And how a nigga ill if he only rhyme about cars, the clothes that he wears in strip bars. It was cool for a minute, but it's gone too far. So where you at, Dear Hip Hop? You know what I mean? That's a plea for artists and the people who live this culture to take accountability and look at what's really going on and get back to what we're supposed to be. Because now, as instead of us being the ones that are the checks and balances to the system and those that speak out against the system, not caring about the system's feelings and not fearing the system shutting us down or anything like that, instead of us being that voice, we become the voice of compliance. We do whatever the system tells us to do. And sadly, that system is perpetuating these negative stereotypes and these negative messages and imagery. I mean, people don't think these things happen, but you can go into these meetings with these executives with a record that is spitting nothing but positivity. And this is urban artists. This is hip hop artists specifically. We can go in an office of a label with these positive records, and they'll literally tell you, "What is that?" Nobody wants to hear that. Where's the rough edge stuff? Kids want to hear about the lean and the twerking and the shaking their ass and the gun violence and you didn't shoot nobody in this record. I mean, this isn't gonna sell. Where am I supposed to sell this? This is the conversation that you'll hear from these executives when you submit music and projects that are on a directly positive angle. You know what I mean? Like right now, you got all of these artists that are getting radio play, major radio play, right? How come an artist like J. Cole isn't getting radio play like that? And he has positive records, man. You know what I mean? His messaging is right. You know what I mean? Nas. Nas has one of the greatest albums out right now. Like seriously. Where's that man's radio play? He's not getting radio play, but you hear all of the strip club radio play. You hear all of the stuff that's giving these kids the wrong messages because they're the ones that really listen to the radio. See, the thing is, the older generation, we don't even listen to the radio no more. We don't listen to the radio. I mean, how many of y'all listen to the radio? I mean, let's be honest. We don't listen to the radio anymore. Why? Because they don't play anything that we like. You know what I'm saying? And instead of us being the consumers that we're supposed to be and demanding that these radio stations start playing the music that we like or we're not going to support them or anything like that, we just take a blind eye and say, well, that's what the young generation wants to hear. Nah, that's not what the young generation wants to hear. That's what they want the young generation to hear because that influences the young generation to not empower themselves in a mental aspect. See, they're looking at the money aspect as the power, but that money aspect ain't the power. That money is the bait. That's how they baited you to do the things that they want you to do by telling you, we're going to pay you to do it. See, sometimes y'all gotta learn how to turn that check down. Y'all so interested in getting the bag, y'all ain't worried about what's in it and how much blood or how much negativity is on what's in that bag. Y'all just want the bag. Y'all got to start thinking more realistically a little bit more. You know what I mean? Y'all got to start thinking, well, as an artist, and I mean myself, I've done this. You know what I mean? I changed my direction as far as content and what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And I did that on my own because I thought about it. I was like, yo, wait a minute. I'm talking about nothing but destroy my people. uh, I'm better than you, and this, that, and the third. Is that really what it's about? Is that really what we are here to portray? Being better than somebody else? Nah, we're supposed to be the inspiration. We're supposed to inspire people to be like us or better than us, and not in a competition way. Not in a, oh, I'm gonna be better than him. To say, you know what, I'm gonna take that example that positive brother did that gave, or that powerful brother sister gave, and I'm gonna utilize it in my best interest, and I'm gonna take it even further. You know what I mean? Let's push the message even further, the positive messages. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the historical aspects. Let's start teaching ourselves using our art form instead of tearing each other down constantly. How many records do you need to hear about where people talking about, I want all the smoke, I got all the drugs, shorty, I gave her Molly, you know what I mean? Zanny this, Zanny that, yada 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 yada. Now I'm not saying there isn't a place for that, because there is. There's a place for all of these things, but there needs to be balance. There needs to be a strong sense of balancing this so that all of these messages are heard, all of them, not just one aspect, which is programming people to, because the messages that we feed ourselves, we wind up acting them out. So if we're constantly hearing kill, 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 pop mollies, and thinking that that's cool, then yes, obviously, the next generation is going to take that on and be like, yo, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I mean, my generation did it when we was making music about being drug dealers and all that. We glorified drug dealing. We glorified being murderers. You know what I'm saying? And that was the beginning of the system doing that to us. Because they said, yo, that's what they want to hear, so get that to them. When we took them a positive record, they was like, I don't know. Where am I going to sell that? It's real talk. You know what I mean? Anybody that's been in the industry, that y'all know I'm telling the truth here. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's done on different levels, different degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might not be like just straight out, oh, we don't like that positive record. They'd be like, yeah, I think you should go back in and, add this to it. Why don't you say this? You know what I mean? They give you suggestions. That's the way it's done. It's giving you suggestions to make it where they're not seeming like they're telling you to do something, but they're influencing you to do something. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of that, they hit you with the, well, if you want to make money, right? At the end of the day, I know you got morals, but you want to make money, right? Are you going to continue to put money over your morals? Seriously? I mean, with me, my morals come first. What's right comes first. You know what I'm saying? I can make money doing what's right. I would much rather make money doing what's right than by doing a bunch of negative shit that I got to answer to later on and say, you know what? This affected my people negatively, man. You know what I'm saying? So this right here, this commentary right here is for the artists. This is for the artists. This isn't for the industry. This isn't for the people in charge or anything like that. This is a message to all the artists out there, all the creators out there that are pursuing a career and utilizing their art form and craft to make money. Do it responsibly, man. You know what I'm saying? Do it responsibly. Don't follow the directive of the industry. Also, this is a message to those that in our culture, us. It's a message to all of us. Stop supporting that negative shit. Like seriously, stop supporting it, man. When these dudes is on interviews and all that, stop watching them. When these dudes is putting out music, stop streaming it. Stop talking about them. See, the consumer has the power, and we're not utilizing it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there that are disgruntled with the way the things are, but they're not doing anything about it. They're not using their voice. They're not using their buying power. They're not using their dollars to dictate the dollars. Let's start dictating the dollars, man. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to do distribution and all that, we need to do it ourselves. If we're going to be marketing and all that, we need to do it ourselves. And we need to stop. I'm going to say it again. We need to stop listening to those people that are telling us to do things that we shouldn't be doing and telling us to push messages that we should not be pushing in order to make a dollar. We don't have to. We don't have to listen. And they could threaten you all they want with shutting down your business, shutting down your career, but you have to be strong enough to say, you know what? Damn your threats. I'm sticking to my morals. And if you ain't got no morals, then we just gonna have to deal with you in that way. But anybody that's been dodging their morals for $1 just so that they can get a bag, fuck the bag, yo. Your morals are more important. Once again, man, I'm your boy Corey Drumz. I ain't really got nothing else to say on this one. Not on this segment. But catch me next time, man. You know what I mean? You never know what I'm gonna say. Word to me. Holla at your boy, man. Corey Drumz. Rise in love. Early.